Our current reaction video focuses on immigration. Ben Hun, who is a Korean who came and immigrated to the United States with his parents at the age of 14, talks about what it means to be an immigrant from another country. He talks about the unfairness of the immigration process and how, from a family perspective, the parents paid the cost in order for the family to come. The children reap all the benefits of being in the United States. And by the time grandchildren come along, the grandchildren take all of the progress that has been made for granted, thus somewhat forgetting where they came from and where their roots are. Mr. Hun talks about the poverty that they experienced when coming to the US, and how coming to the US, everyone is filled with dreams and hope of a better life and a better plan. He describes it as a belly full of hope, and that the potential experience that they have when they get here is maybe a little bit less than what they had hoped for. His family worked as janitors when they came, and as their son, he also assisted with the work that they did. And I have seen this in some local businesses that have opened. We have a particular Chinese restaurant that the people have come and immigrated from another country, opened this restaurant, and it's very much a family situation, so that they have young children, and the young children are with them at the restaurant all the time. They have a special section set up there for the children to be and play, because the husband and wife are constantly working in the restaurant business. So I think, that kind of, Ben was required to help his parents in their positions as janitors, and these children are required to help their parents in the restaurant business. He also talks about the difference now between coming and into the United States, and how centuries ago there was great suffering that came along with the immigration. And, we've seen that in history books about how there was a lot of suffering through natural causes, illness, acts of God. It was very risky for people to come. Now, not that it's not risky, but people probably either get on a plane or onto a boat, or and find it there's much less suffering in the coming to the United States now than there was many years ago. Certainly, Mr. Hun is a success story, and I'm sure that his family is extremely proud of him. So he has come from, as he describes, a war-ravaged South Korea, and he is now an American tech entrepreneur. So he is probably living out what some would consider the success, the American dream. And I'm sure that his family is feeling very pleased with the outcome of why they came here. Well, I'm not really recalling that he describes that. I would imagine, as a parent, you are seeking better for your children. And I'm sure that his parents' decision to take that step and come to the US, which personally I can't even fathom. um, how difficult that must be to basically leave everything behind and just trust that there's something better out there, and taking that leap of faith to be able to make that move and come to the US. I think that that's got to be extremely difficult, no matter what kind of situation you are living in. I think that his family must be very pleased by the outcome that has come for their son, because I'm sure that, especially since they came as he was a teenager, his future was much at the forefront of their minds as they made this decision. And then I think the some of the information that he shared throughout his presentation was interesting. I found it interesting that a third of all the American tech startups have had at least one immigrant co-founder. Um, that's, I think, a sign of the inclusion um, that is, coming to the U.S. That some of the views of people coming and the um, opportunities available for them are opening up. I think as we look at immigration from the business law standpoint, immigration is an extremely hot topic, even today. And I think that many of the factors involving immigration are leading businesses to increasingly be focused on immigration law and the issues that surround that. Immigration affects all businesses at some level. In reading some information through the American Bar Association, um, they too are agreeing that businesses are all affected by immigration, whether it's from securing the H-1B visas for high-tech employees and being able to bring those employees into the US, or checking I-9 forms um, for migrant workers, and just making sure that everyone is checking employee eligibility verifications. Those are all things that are required in businesses and affect all business owners. So I think in looking at where business law fits into the topic of immigration, no matter where you stand on who we let in, who we don't let in, um, what the answer to those questions are, how many people do we let in. I think from a business law standpoint, it is important that we are focused on the requirements for business owners and managers to be sure that they are aware of the requirements to um, follow the laws revolving around immigration and the ability to employ individuals within the United States, making sure that those individuals are eligible to work within the United States and that they have the appropriate credentials to do so. Um, Not following those policies certainly can get individuals and businesses into legal troubles, which is certainly not an area that anybody wants to be. I think that as far as a business is concerned, that is the direction that a business needs to focus on and be aware of and pay attention to, so that we know exactly um, what those requirements are, so that we can follow through on the law and what is being required of us. I also think that it's important that we ensure that people who are employed are, feeling safe and secure in the opportunities that are available to them. I think one of the things that Mr. Hunt said was that we may not be able to judge the character of these people by the passports that they bring. And I think that brings in sort of a whole additional area of concern or potential concern for employers and businesses, especially, if you are a business that is maybe you're in human resources, and it's important that you ensure that everybody is being treated equally, that there is not discrimination within the workplace based on anybody's, heritage, where they came from, all those types of things that we have read about and talked about previously within our course. So I think that that too is a factor that can affect businesses as far as immigration is concerned. I do believe that the US was built on immigration. Um, and I think that, you know, like I said, this is a current hot topic and everybody has certain opinions. Um, but as from a business standpoint, we need to sort of set everybody's opinions aside and make sure that we are following the letter of the law, making sure that people are being treated equally, that there isn't discrimination that's happening within the workplace, that we are following through on employee eligibility verifications and any requirements if we're a business, say, that is employing high-tech individuals from foreign countries, that all of the proper paperwork and everything is filed in order to do so.